Boston Bros is number one thing not, you're dead wrong. You can catch me doing misbehaving with my Pradas on. It's real boxing talk every time we meet with Ned, the TBE, and Conspiracy G. We bring it to you raw, unbiased, you know the deal. You can even get a poor dealer here from Dollar Bill with my guys by my side. You know we going live. All we need you to do is please like and subscribe. Boxing Bros. Peace.
The next topic we're going to discuss on Boxing Bros is a post from Mike Tyson's Instagram account. So Mike Tyson posts Hulu with the band sign, and he wrote hashtag boycott Hulu. And in the caption, it says Hulu's announcement to do an unauthorized miniseries of the Tyson story without compensation, although unfortunate, isn't surprising. This announcement on the heels of social disparities in our country is a prime example of how Hulu's corporate greed led to this tone-deaf cultural misappropriation of Tyson life story. To make this announcement during Black History Month only confirms Hulu's concern for dollars over respect for Black story rights. Hollywood needs to be more sensitive to Black experiences, especially after that has transpired in 2020. The real Mike Tyson authorized story is in development and will be announced in coming days. Hulu to announce stealing a Black athlete story during Black History Month couldn't be more inappropriate or tone deaf. Hashtag boycott Hulu, hashtag corporate greed. From Mike Tyson's Instagram account. So I'm starting off with G, man. What's your thoughts on that? Tyson is saying that Hulu is making a story about his life. They're not paying him. He's throwing out cultural misappropriations and all types of things. Like, what's your reaction to that?
My reaction, I agree with Mike Tyson 1,000%.
1,000?
1,000%. And this is actually reminiscent of Dave Chappelle's situation with Netflix when he was like, yo, I'm not getting no money from the Chappelle show on Netflix, right? And so he asked people not to watch the show at all. And because of that, because of the outcry, Netflix was like, all right, bro, we're going to give you a percentage. You know what I'm saying? Like, if he never went public about it, he wouldn't have gotten a red cent from his own show that he created, you know? So, but now Mike Tyson talking about they're creating a show about his life, his likeness, and he's not getting anything. To me, that's outrageous, you know? So, and not to mention, there might be slander involved because, you know, they have creative freedoms when they make these little shows and series and everything. So, you know, a lot of stuff isn't going to be accurate. And you know how, you know, I'll say colorful Mike Tyson's career has been. You know what I'm saying? So his antics were kind of, they were reckless, you know? So they could paint a picture of Mike Tyson that may not be accurate to who he actually is. And so if he's saying, you know, hey, they're taking my image, my likeness, they don't want to pay me at all. To me, I have an issue with that, you know, especially in this country when it comes to Black people and Black ownership. So I go, you know what, Mike Tyson, I support you. Now, he's asking me to cancel my Hulu. It's going to be difficult because I got a bundle package with my ESPN Plus. So, hey, if the Boxing Bros Nation wants me to, commentate about ESPN fights, I don't know if I could cancel this. You know what I mean? So, what I will do though, I will not watch that series at all until Mike Tyson gives us the green light go. And I'm hoping everybody supports his wishes on this one, you know, because again, like I understand how like when you work hard and somebody else is taking, you know, money off of your plate of your family and you and all of that stuff, it's not right. So, you know, Hulu, do the right thing, man, and reach out to this dude. And especially, this is crazy and it's Black History Month. Come on, son. This is wild, yo. You know, every time I turn on my Comcast, they promote all of these like Black television shows. They got all of this stuff now. Hulu got it too. So I'm like, Hulu's doing it, Netflix doing it, Comcast is doing. All of these people are like saying like they're promoting Black films, Black networks, Black series, and all this stuff. But it's amazing if they're not paying these Black writers, producers, or even people that are influencing this material. He should get paid. He should be fully compensated for his story because it's his story. So, man, Tyson, I support you 1,000. Well, minus if you want me to cancel my Hulu, because I can't, because it's a bundle pack. But I'm not gonna watch that series, bro. I promise you that until you say green light go.
Oh, I Dollar Bill.
At least they could have did was hire him as a consultant on his own story. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? No, you know what I'm saying? Like they ain't giving him money, but he's working, you know what I'm saying? To put him on a payroll or something. Well, I see it a whole bunch of ways, man. I don't know. I think that are they done just taking from this man? How much you gonna keep just taking from Mike? I feel bad. I don't know. I feel bad for Mike. I get it. Everybody's in this thing to make money. Even the white guy that probably wrote up that statement talking about the other guys as being insensitive. They're probably in on it too, because they like, oh, well, we're going to be the ones that's going to cut Mike Tyson a check on the movie we're making on his life. You know what I'm saying? So that's how they're looking at it. I don't know, man. People just take advantage of Mike. I've been feeling like people have been taking advantage of Mike for a long time. Now Mike got some people around him and he got a little bit wits about himself and he's trying to make good decisions. And I guess he's a public figure. It's not like they're breaking any laws, you know. It's like, I guess it's some right they have to do. I don't know. I just feel bad for Mike. If Mike says, hey, you don't want me watching the fight, out of my respect for Mike, because I feel like they always took from Mike, you know, I'm not gonna watch it. But when they come out, they're gonna be using the people that's gonna be using to make his story. They're gonna use Mike too. You know what I'm saying? They're gonna be using Mike too, all around, man. But hey, whatever, Mike. If you don't want me watching the thing, I'm not gonna watch it, because I know, especially since now that you're not behind it, they're definitely not gonna favor you in such a favorable light. They're not gonna put you in a favorable light now that they know that you're totally against this. You know, I wonder where they're getting all their information from. You know, because my dad used to always tell me there's 3 sides to every story. You know, his side, another person's side, and the truth. And if they're not working with Mike Tyson on this film, then where are they getting these stories from? You know, so is this going to be a slander flick, or, you know, I don't know. I won't watch it. If Mike don't want the love I have for Mike, I won't watch it.
All right, Ned.
I'm almost scared out.
Hold up. I agree with Mike Tyson 1,000%. But I love Hulu 1,000% because it's so much better than Netflix.
Is it? I don't know.
Amazon Prime can't hold a candle to it. HBO Max is right there. It's like it's cricket.
But you're saying Hulu's above HBO Max.
Yes. It's like it's right there, but it's cricket. It's like Hulu, HBO Max.
I don't know. The only thing I'm giving Hulu is the Underground, the series that they had. You know what I'm saying?
Now Hulu got a few joints.
Hulu got live television shows on there, yo.
I don't watch Hulu.
Hulu got some joints on. They got Everybody Hates Chris. They got Woke Cornet.
They got Woke. They got Queen Sugar. They got
They've been having some movies too. They just had the movie about Billie Holiday.
I got Hulu too. I don't ever mess with Hulu.
They got Blackish. They got a bunch of stuff on there.
They got like the shows like the day after. So I mean, it is what it is. But go ahead, Nate. Get to your stuff. Go ahead.
But I respect it. I get it. Like they're doing stuff. Like maybe it's a satire. Maybe they're gonna have Tyke Myson. Like it's a story on Tyke Myson. They satire Mike Tyson on it. But you know, I honestly, if I was to watch it, it would be by accident. Like I fell asleep during the show, and Hulu snuck it into the next episode. Like next episode, You finish the series. Next episode, story of blah, blah, blah. And that's the only way I would ever like say my subconscious took that shit in or took that stuff in. Sorry, excuse my language. But
Yo, Ned, you funny, man. You funny. What did you tell us before we press record?
What?
Tell the truth, Ned. What did you say before we press record?
I'm not gonna watch it. I'm not a fan of documentaries. I love documentaries.
I don't think it's gonna be a documentary though.
Yeah, but I don't like.
It's gonna be like a miniseries.
I don't like where people are preachy or they're trying to like they don't tell the whole truth in the story. So that's when I don't watch it because it's like it's biased. I don't like biased media, and that's my thing. So I won't watch it. But if Hulu is sneaky. I'll tell you that from my experience at Hulu, they're very sneaky. I watch a show and then I throw a whole nother show into my like I finish the series that just like and you let the countdown go. That just throw a whole different show. Like I don't need. Why are you recommending this to me? I don't want to watch this.
You know, you could just.
That's how I said. I watch it by accident. I'm like, oh, what's this? What the heck is this? Oh, it's Mike Tyson. My bad, Mike Tyson. But I'm boycotting.
That's how you gonna end up watching Mike Tyson.
I'm end up watching it. This show needs some views.
It'd be your own.
I ain't no Judas, but it's gonna be sneaky with how they creep up on you with it. You know,
you Judas and the black Judas and the Black Messiah. That's you, Judas.
And in the Black Messiah. You know?
But they're gonna sneak it up on me. I'm gonna be like, no, thank you. No, thank you. There's a show, the Goldbergs. They be trying to get me to watch that show. I never watched it in my life.
Yeah, so I'll just jump in. I'm conflicted with this on a number of levels because the story's public knowledge. So like when something's public knowledge, it is what it is almost. Like for example, FX did the show about OJ where Cuban Gooding Jr. is playing OJ Simpson. You think OJ got money for that? This is a public story. Every time you see like all these documentaries about OJ, you know, this story romanticized, fantasized, twist up, spun around 100 different ways, OJ gets no bread off of that. It's just people talking about things that are public knowledge. We make a show, Boxing Bros, where we talk about all these fighters. We talk about public knowledge. We talk about the fights. Now they're going to start coming to us saying they want a piece of the pie of all our views. Like, no, just because like we talk about your fight isn't the content. Like we produce this. So they're going to just make a bunch of reenactments basically, or like I said, romanticize, fantasize, whatever they're going to do with Mike Tyson's story. But it's going to be their vision. It's going to be their content. And then he's going to show up and say, well, I want some money for it. So like, it is unfortunate that he's not getting paid. I would like to see them include him. I would love to see him get paid, but that's what they do right now. There's, and by they, I mean producers. Right now, there's a documentary on HBO Max about Woody Allen. And if you see this documentary and you know about Woody Allen, I'm sure he's getting no money off this documentary whatsoever. And this documentary is painting him in a very bad light. It's going to tarnish his reputation. But you think Woody's getting some money from it? You think he can stop it from happening? No, he can't stop it from happening. There was just a documentary, Surviving R. Kelly. Ruined his whole career. You think he made money from it? In fact, quite the contrary. I'd argue it cost him his career and everything that he ever owned. So my point is Mike Tyson is someone with a checkered past. We know this. He's someone who was convicted of rape. He's someone who was arrested over 40 times by like the age of 14. We know who Mike is. We accept Mike. We love Mike. We know that Mike is changing for the better. But again, all these things are public knowledge. So I don't necessarily know how much like they'd like to pay him. I remember when I was younger, some of the first books I ever took out of the library were Down for the Count as a book about Mike Tyson being arrested for the rape of Desiree Washington, and Never Too Young to Die was a book about Len Bias, the former Maryland basketball player who died using cocaine, and he was drafted by the Boston Celtics. Many people don't realize that set off a chain of the Celtics losing, by the way, because if Len would have came, Boston would have had more titles, but I don't want to talk about it. I read the book anyways. The point is, it was one of the two books that I took out. And I just remember thinking like, wow, this is crazy when I read both those books. And I remember thinking to myself, I was younger. I was a lot younger back then. Like I said, it was the first two books I took. I remember saying to myself, these will be movies one day. They still haven't made the Len Bias movie yet, but trust me, that movie is coming. And when they make the Len Bias movie, I wonder, are they going to pay his family? Because it's public knowledge. So I do feel like it is nice. It would be the right thing to do to cut the person a percentage of what you produce. But if it's not necessary, if it's public knowledge, I've seen several documentaries about Len Bias. I don't know if they cut the family a check, but they probably should. So what I'm getting at is, look at all the gangster movies. You know how many gangster movies they got, like Waddy Boja, The Mafia. They make all these movies. They're portraying these guys in a certain way. Do they cut them any money? Lastly, I'll end with this: the movie Cinderella Man. In Cinderella Man, they paint what's his name? Max
Burbick.
Is it Bear, right?
Oh, Max Bear. Yeah.
They paint Max Bear a certain way in Cinderella Man. They paint him to be this vicious guy, and he killed someone in the ring. And Max Bear was nothing like the way they portrayed him in the movie. And Max Bear's kids did not like the portrayal of Max Bear in Cinderella Man. And they were saying like he was a kind guy, he was a loving guy, but most importantly, he never got over killing someone in the ring. It hurt him. It bothered him. The portrayal of him like someone that would glorify it, or someone who would embrace that, bothered them. So you know what that let me know? They had no say so. And what happened in that movie? They had no say over the portrayal of their dad. So I don't know how much say so Mike can have. Okay, Crooked Finger Ned, go ahead.
I remember that movie. Remember that? I think it was like a docu. I don't know what it was classified as, but remember When They See Us? The prosecutor Linda during the Fab Five in Central Park.
Yeah,
she actually sued she like for defamation of character.
Yeah,
she sued them because she was like, "Yo, that's not how it actually happened." Now with the example that you use, he's no longer alive, so it's like, can the kids sue for defamation of character? I don't know if they can, but Mike Tyson, who's still living, if I don't know if it's a documentary or is it going to be a show reenacting?
This is like a show, like a biopic or bioseries.
If it's a biopic, then he may have an argument. Yeah, so then he may have an argument, because unless the biopic is from another perspective of somebody else who worked with Mike Tyson, if it's from the lens of Mike Tyson, then Mike Tyson, I think he has grounds for defamation of character.
I'll put it like this, and then like we can just move on because we spent a lot of time on this. I feel like people are going to tell their story. For example, Mike Tyson has his pick in production, like he said, and Robin Givens already sent him a cease and desist, and she doesn't want. So the question really is, should Tyson not be able to tell his story because Robin Givens wants to give him a cease and desist and said, "Well, you can't put me in your movie." Well, y'all have history.
Well, I'll say this: you better tell the truth about Robin.
Well, once again, who decides the truth? Like you said, we weren't there. So like Trill said, like Pops used to always say, there's three sides to every story. What he say, what she say, what really happened. Now, we won't know what really happened, right? But we know what Mike said. We know what Robin's going to say. Now, how do we determine what really happened, right? So at the end of the day, what I'm getting at is not about financial gain or lawsuits, but the point is, should Mike not be able to tell his story from his point of view? And if his story is he drove up to his mansion and Brad Pitt was there and with Robin Givens and he said, "Who's this pretty boy mother effer?" And you know what I'm saying? And then that is what it is. Now, if she wants to say Robin Givens is the one saying, "Oh, y'all want to make a movie, I'm going to do a series and I'm going to give Hulu the tea." And her story is Tyson used to slap her up around the house. She should tell her story too.
I agree with that.
Now we all watch and you decide. That's what a trial is. You know what I'm saying? But what I'm saying is all this like telling people like artistic expression and it just becomes crazy. So my thing is like Mike is doing a story. And Robin Givens gives him a cease and desist. And from the beginning, I was saying, well, then just put someone else in and change the name or whatever. But my thing is, why can't he tell his side? If you dispute it, then tell your side. So my whole thing is, once again, things that are public knowledge and public record, people have been making movies and films about them from the beginning. And I don't think they've been paying the subjects, which brings me to, this is a production thing. And I know I see Mike and his writers, which makes me think the person who wrote this wasn't black, making it like this is a black issue. When I think this is a production issue, this is an issue of paying your subjects or like how you compensate, how you produce. But they've been producing these movies of Italian gangsters. They've been making these movies about black superstars, white superstars, all types of stars, and I don't think they've been paying the subjects. So we can dive into it, but at the end of the day, I do hope Mike Tyson gets compensated if you're going to use his likeness because it's only right.
Let us know how you feel in the comment section. Please like and got me all messed up. Let us know how you feel in the comment section. Please like and subscribe and check us out on Instagram and Twitter. And please check out our podcast on all major streaming services. We are the Boxing Bros. Give Mike some money.
Fixes everything.